Welcome to Treflach Farm. My name's Steele, and I'm the fourth generation of farmers to work this land in my family. This farm's been farmed for many more years than that, but I'm lucky enough to have a go at it right now. Today we're going to have a chat about permaculture and an exciting permaculture course that's going to be hosted on the farm at the end of April. And joining me today to talk about this is the wonderful Steve Jones from Sector 39.
Great.
Steve, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, it's so great to be here. So, Sector 39. I've been involved in permaculture for 30 years. Can you believe that? I mean,
I can't believe it.
Can you? Oh, it's been a long journey. About 10 years into that process, people started asking me, like, do you do courses and do you do training and stuff? And I was like, well, I suppose I could. And that began this journey, which is what's created Sector 39. And actually what Sector 39 is an accidental network. Because I never thought, and every time I do a PDC, it's kind of the last one, or the first one. It was like, we're trying it out. And what happens when you do a series of things is that then the people who are on course 1 bump into the people who are on course 5, and they start comparing notes. And the next thing you know, we've done different venues, different times. So it's coming up to 11 years since we did our first course here.
Creating a real network of people and skills.
Yeah. So that's what it is, actually. And if I was interested, but the name, one of the projects, I worked for a long time at the Centre for Alternative Technology, Canolfen a Technoleg Amgen. I was trained to say that in Welsh. Very proud of that. And I left there, but having worked a long period of time there, and I was invited to go back to Reading, to where I'd studied and where I had friends and stuff, to build a permaculture-themed forest garden and to put it on the roof of an educational building that's on London Street in Reading. And it just so happened to be 39 London Street.
Ah, that's Sector 39.
Yes, and 39 was my peg number when I was at primary school, and I had it on my sports kit. It said Steve Jones, Sector 39. Oh no, this is 39. So they know, which peg to put your thing on. So I always had that number always resonating with me. Nice. And then the fact that the garden was at 39 London Street.
Oh, makes sense.
That's Reading International Solidarity Centre. It's awesome, that I've got to say. Because I finished that in 2005.
Well, right, because we met at the workhouse in Llanfochlin, yes. Right? So you were continuing that journey, teaching permaculture in North Wales.
Oh, yes. I mean, because I'd lived in North Wales for a long time, but then so I got interested in what was going on in Llanfochlin. I'd worked at CAT and I was looking to take those skills and experience somewhere else. And there's been many more steps on that journey since then, but so it was 2009 or 10. I think we crossed paths.
That's it, and I invited you to host a permaculture design course on the farm and help me, because I returned recently to the farm to take it in a new direction, but I didn't really know what that direction was.
Yeah,
I knew that when I was growing up here, that the way that it had been farmed conventionally, and we'll talk more about that another time, just wasn't suitable going forward, and I had to do something different, but I didn't know how to make that come about. So it's been a fantastic process over the last few years to learn about alternative production methods and restorative agriculture as well, which permaculture really supports.
So I come from a farming background. My father was a farmer, his father was a farmer. Actually, also my dad was evacuated during the war, so he experienced farming in Ontario as well, so it was sort of interesting perspectives. I went into education, but my concern was always about the environment. So guess what? I ended up in environmental education. So I spent a lot of my life, if you like, being involved in those kinds of conversations about, we can do this better. There are other ways. There's new approaches. And when I met you, early 2010, you had ideas raging in your head, but no kind of ability to download them
and one of the best thing I found about permaculture was not necessarily the ideas, because I already had a lot of the ideas, but it was the way that it structured it into a design methodology. And that was a way that really formulated how to approach changing this large system into a reformatted food production.
And I have such strong memories of the 2010 course, our first course here. And what I realised was that even to move one thing, like, but there's that there, why don't we put it over there? And it's like, there's a reason
why that's there.
And it's like, it's complex systems, everything's connected to everything else.
Very, very complex.
And there's a realisation that we couldn't really change a single element of the farm without sort of almost having a whole different kind of vision. And the insight that came from the design team, the students on that course all those years ago, was support key functions in the system. That's you. We need to build an on-farm community of other people who can help you, unpack, develop and research those ideas.
And again, it links back into another topic conversation we're going to talk about at a later date, is that food production in years gone by was people reliant. Over the last few years, it's been more reliant on machineries and chemicals and less on people. And actually we're trying to do something again which actually draws in a community, creates a community, draws in people and nourishes people through the food they eat, the connections they make, and their access to the outdoors.
And if I can add one thing, it's the other thing about those complex food systems, it's also really complex delivery, transportation systems that surround
the marketing side of things, to be able to actually get the food to the people.
And again, a theme over the last sort of 10 years has been, how does the farm build stronger relationships to the surrounding community? How do we get the people around to be really interested in eating your local produce? And when you just go to Sainsbury's, food just sort of appears on your table in a packet. You don't really think about the journey that it's been on. You don't really understand the social, environmental.
And so permaculture can really help with not only the transformational aspect of transforming our food systems, but it's also about engaging with people and actually telling that story, so the way that people can understand and actually make a livelihood for the food producers as well. So it's multifaceted and really complex and really interesting. And we could talk about it for a very long time, but I am going to put a hold on it just for the moment, because we do have a permaculture design course running on the farm, hosted by us, but run by Steve Jones. On the 26th of April until the 8th of May, very reasonably priced.
It's 12 days of study with a day off in the middle, which is a Sunday, so we can,
It's distance learning over the internet, but also you can stay on the farm, and so there will be an aspect of COVID-friendly, COVID-safe, all of that, camping and self-contained accommodation. So get in touch if you're interested in hearing more details and booking through sector39.co.uk.
You'll find the links there. And just to say, I'm super excited. We're sort of, the collaboration is getting stronger, and I think we're understanding each how we can best work together and contribute to each other's sort of, our goals. And, he's the farmer, I'm the teacher. There's a lot of overlap between that, but we've got a lot to say, a lot to talk about.
Absolutely.
And just to say, I put on the landing page for the course, my little headline, strapline is, this course is for you. This is not for farmers. It's not for growing. Permaculture's way more than...
It's for everyone.
Yeah, it's for everybody.
Whether you've got a window box or whether you've got a 1,000 acres, whatever. It gives you tools to change our lifestyle.
To change your life, and an internal change creates external change, which creates meaningful change in the world.
Fantastic. And we'll look forward to seeing you on April 26th.